Hi everyone, and welcome to our horror channel. I'm Carshénah with versefilmsproductions, and we're talking horror right here on our channel. Stick around, hang out with us as we go over everything you love about horror. Let's get started. So we have Blair Witch, which debuted in 1999, which can be seen as the last experimental film right before the turn of the century. I mean, literally. 2000 was just around the corner. The title card was just some white letters, justified on the left-hand side. Titles always go in the middle or like up top or down below, or they do like this shimmer in. But this one, it was just like a VHS version, a little bit of an artsy film. That in itself was already making its way as, ooh, what kind of film is this? Then it gives you the who, the why, the what, the where in this film, and the next cue card, such as when the film was supposedly made, which was in 1994. The who being three filmmakers, the what happened to them, for which they disappeared in the woods, and the where this happened, it was in Burkittsville, Maryland. Yeah. I don't know where Burkittsville is, and I still don't know where Burkittsville is, but it's in Maryland, apparently. Then it goes on to say, a year later, their documentary footage was found. So this was already setting the audience up that they are watching events that already happened. And this scene opens to a Hello 90s, which is like cue the car, the clothes, the film equipment, and the smarmy jokes. And we all know in the 90s, smarmy was the it thing to be and to do back in the 90s. So then it goes on. Then we get to see this camcorder, which was the creme de la creme of filmmaking back in the day. I know, I had one. It was the creme de la creme, and it was very expensive. So it already set up that these filmmakers, these student filmmakers, spent all their hard-earned money just for this camcorder so they can do their documentary. And this is traveling back into the 90s with like the shakiness, the whiteout transitions. And then our main character goes into this Sally Jesse Raphael. This is Burkittsville, and they're in this cemetery. And all this is happening in the first 5 minutes of the film. So we already know that we're being set up for something. We just don't know what. And then the main character, she questions the Burkittsvillians right off the bat if they've ever seen or they ever know of the legend of the Blair Witch. Then the video goes back and forth to black and white, then color, then black and white, and we hear of all the information the filmmakers need to know to go find the Blair Witch. I mean, they're asking questions where a lot of the townspeople are like, oh yeah, she's in the woods, and oh yeah, I've heard she's in the woods, and oh yeah, she's in the woods, because where do witches go? In the woods. So the woods is where they need to go. So the woods is the theme, and the woods is the central character, I think, more than the witch herself, if that can be believed. Because why? Everyone says it's in the woods. Anyway, what's interesting about this film is that they make it a point to show that they are filming the film for which they are filming. Do you follow me? So in other words, they're using that expensive camcorder that they're using, that they make sure that you know that they have a camcorder filming themselves to show that the footage is real. And I think that's one of the best things that they can do in this sort of found footage genre, is to actually show, hey, this is really real, putting that into the minds of the audience that this is an actual event because we have it actually on tape. And so the actors or the people that's in the film, they're actually, making a movie about a movie about a movie. You know what I mean? So it's actually really good because then the audience doesn't really suspect that, oh, this could not be real. This might actually really have happened because they've got actual proof. And so that's one of the good things about this genre that I really love about the found footage. So don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the found footage genre because, you know, if you happen to stumble upon a car that's running and you see the miles on the car, you would want to know, where has this car been? And of course it could happen because in real life, it's showing the speedometer the odometer has all of, why did I say speedometer? The odometer has all of these miles on it. So same thing with the footage. It's actually showing you that, hey, these are actual real people. They're asking other real people in the town about their documentary. And so the film presses on. So as the film progresses, the three filmmakers go into the woods and set up camp looking for the Blair Witch. I mean, that's the whole title and that's the whole purpose of the film. I mean, the basic rule of thumb in these types of films is that you really walk into the shoes of the actual characters. Everyone remembers going hiking or camping or at least doing stupid stuff with your friends just for the sake of doing stupid stuff. And everyone has had some form of dream of, oh, I want to be in film or I want to document something. And this is what they're doing. They're doing a memory sense of a recall for everyone in this film. And I think that's pleasant, that a lot of horror films don't have. I mean, you look at some of the gory films, doesn't really happen, or you really look at some of these dreamlike films, that could happen, but Freddy coming out in your dreams, not so much. But we got love for Freddy. But for these found footage documentary films, this is something experimental, and this is something that they're trying to do, is make sure that the audience knows that, hey, this could really happen because you've been in the woods. Remember that time when you were 8? So it's doing that recall, and we really enjoy that. Now, what the film does is set up for future filmmakers like myself, that all you need is a run and gun crew. Basically, you need a camera person, a sound person, and like the main director. Really, all you need is 3 people for a low budget, no budget film. And this is exactly what they're showing, which makes it the best types of films. They finally progress in the woods, filming at night, and of course, they hear scary noises. So 50 minutes goes by where you're really wondering, will these filmmakers ever find the witch? Like, will these filmmakers ever find Blair and all of her witchery? Factions start to form because the woods and mayhem of being alone in the woods and not being able to get out. I mean, it's starting to be frustrating for the audience because they're like, look, is this something going to happen? I mean, it's setting up, but everybody by now is kind of exhausted, you know, walking around in the woods along with these filmmakers who have yet to find Blair and all of her witchery. No covens, no other noises, no nothing. All they're doing is going along in a big loop, and it's getting frustrating until we hear, this is not the same log. This is not the same log. This is the same log. I mean, it is the same log, Heather. So sorry. You know, they're starting to blur their reality. They're starting to hear things. They're starting to see things. And they're also running out of food. They're running out of everything that's essential that they thought they prepared for in the woods. Everyone can relate to that. You think that you're prepared for something and then stuff starts running out. And then, you know, again, it's frustrations. And that's one of the good things that this film does, is it really goes on the frustrations of everyone that's ever been in the woods. It's a memory recall. And I think that's one of the best things that's going for this film, as it were. And also our famous, you know, plug of where they have the camera that's shoved in their face with like the light, you know, it's almost like, I see dead people. But yeah, you know, they're trying to run away in the woods, and they're trying to make sure that they're trying to escape these woods there. Now, especially if you have kids, this is the are we there yet moment that they have yet to achieve, because even us as the audience were like, are they there yet? Or is this witch playing tricks on them? I think Blair Witch is like one of the most iconic found footage genre films up to date. I mean, even back then, everyone tries to recreate it. Everyone tries to reproduce it. I mean, it really was experimental back in its heyday. And it was something that was like, oh my gosh, I got a camera. Let me go out and make a film about whatever. And let me pretend like I lost, the footage. And then let me find the footage, or a new set of players find the footage, and then we have the Blair Witch Project all over again. So I think kudos to the Blair Witch Project that basically gives us a hand in filmmaking where you can do it all yourself and actually create something brand new. Thanks guys so much for watching this little quick review of the Blair Witch Project. I'm not going to give it away whether they find Blair. You can always look it up. It's actually running right now on Roku channel. I believe it's also on all the other streaming devices. So you can go ahead, find it, watch what happens to the three filmmakers and see where they go from there. I'm Carshénah with Verse Films Productions. Take care.